So the top three corners for the Jets are currently not in there. Practice squatter Craig James is on the field. And some trickery, but Mims lost it! And Jefferson recovers!
Showing pressure the other way. Trevor Lawrence didn't see it. You see Johnson getting there at the last second, forcing him to throw it a little faster than he wanted to. Oftentimes we see pressure, we say, see pressure, attack pressure. Throw it into where the...
Downs in motion. Here they come again. Richardson with a pump fake. He had to get rid of that one on the initial pump as Roger McCreary was coming with some serious heat.
They're trying to set up a screen. That's why Tennessee is back there so fast. See all this over here? And it happens so fast that, Richardson, he doesn't really have a chance to do anything there.
So they lose 17 yards on that play.
File that one is a new wrinkle that we don't need to run anymore. You gotta catch that. You're a receiver. I know it's at your shins, but...
Fumble. Cameron Jordan vacuums it in. Another New England turnover. On the pitch to Stevenson.
And he has a lead blocker and only one defender. It was going to be a huge gain. Definitely a first down and maybe even taking it the distance. Hits him in the backhand. He's not able to haul it in.
It's actually a loss of 7 to bring up 2nd and 17 from the 45. Ball's over Lawrence's head. He does pick it up, and it's now loose. Ball still loose, and it's out of bounds.
Ball's high. Get a nice bounce to recover it. I thought he was going to try to throw it here. Couldn't get it out of his hands. Blue jerseys just can't squeeze it. Huge break for Jacksonville right there.
They set the game clock to 5:33.
Right there. So it's 83 Connor Hayward, not 93 Mark Robinson, as I described before. Connor Hayward right there. Moon is on the spot, as you described. But I think Hayward's contacting. In so many ways, it's going to be a forgettable day for Zay Flowers, isn't it? Another opportunity, and he stumbles when he has a chance to stay on his feet and easily make this catch. Look at him stumble, fall.
Bradley Chubb, he's recognizing that they want to get Wan'Dale out in a route. I don't know how that's not a holding call. There was pressure coming from Cater.
Stevenson in the backfield and Mac Jones arranging his receiver. At the 1st and 10 from the 10 with the fake and a block by Stevenson in time to throw. Bobble deflected, and Warner, the linebacker, will vacuum in another turnover.
Well, it's the hit that knocks the ball up in the air. Howden comes from behind, and watch the contact. Montgomery has the ball in his hand. He's going to turn, but right there, the shoulder is what flips the ball up into the air, and the Saints, because of their hustle.
I don't know about this one because you've got a middle linebacker coming in your direction, and you're going to take a big hit if you catch that football. So Chandler Wooten's right there in coverage. There's a lot of chemistry between these two, and this is a great back shoulder throw. Everything is done right, except you just don't finish the catch.
And Jamison Williams active again, his first game this year. Head shaker.
I feel bad for this young man. I've been in these situations before where a defender comes and stands right in front of you, and it takes your attention away from the task at hand, which is catching the football.
Just talked about him being able to step up in the pocket on that last pass attempt. Watch the controlled rush lanes by Detroit right there. Maybe he escaped right there, and you saw that close. Bryce Young thinks he's going to get through that spot right there, but the
first coach will ask one question: how did you not catch that pass? That's all that needs to be said at that point. Could not have been thrown better.
Replay a lot while you were away. It's amazing. The ball bounces. It misses Oren Burks, 48. Bounces through. And Chris, you said the fact that it hit Diamador Lenore in the leg kept it in bounds, and the recovery by Kevin Givens.
I'm going to tell you, that punch out by Fred Warner is as good as you will see. That is an overhand right that George Foreman would have been proud of right there. Bang.
To the veteran, Tyrann Mathieu.
Well, and this goes back to Mac Jones a week ago saying Sometimes I try and do too much. I try saving the play, and I don't need to. It's okay to take a sack or throw it away. This time, stepping up in the pocket, there's nowhere for him to step up in the pocket.
Carricade's right here, and Jalen Waddle is going to come across as a shallow crosser. And Tua, that's poor. That is poor quarterback play. Tua just naturally assumed that Jalen Waddle was going to be there, be the only person there. You cannot flick the ball late and high and slow the way he did.
Was go for it, try to put the game away, or try the field goal to make it a 7-point game, Troy. He went field goal, and Carlson hits the upright. Sounded like this.
Well, that's one that will be second guessed. There's no question that you've got Josh Jacobs.
Australian Lou Hedley, a rookie, will punt. Peppers is back looking into that bright New England sun. Oh, it was fair caught. Attempted and then bobbled, as you saw, and he and the ball go out of bounds about the 18. It's inside the 20. Pats will take over, dodging a bullet, and we'll be back in 30 seconds after this.
What I love about Tua is how he naturally steps up in the pocket. The pressure is coming, and he goes, slips right underneath, and instead of running, looks for his main man, Tyreek Hill, getting the first down. Nice job. Nice way of extending the drive, extending the down, and I love quarterbacks.
Available to practice all the time when you're coming off of injury. You're trying to make more of a play than what's there. Your timing's off, and you really want to contribute. Rashad Bateman has had his share of injury issues, hadn't been able to be on the field, and he has a chance to contribute big.
He's reading those offensive linemen, and he knows when they're in that pass set, he's out of there.
There goes again. Going inside, deflected, and Warner comes up with a deflected interception. Diamador Lenoir had the coverage. Warner's got the pick at the 26-yard line. The third turnover of the Cowboys, and back-to-back drives with a pick.
You see him taking it back, pulling the trigger here, and Jermaine Johnson coming in. I don't know.
Yeah.
It looked like he got a lot of ball there.
It's a fumble, but it went out of bounds, so Denver maintains possession.
So sack, fumble again. We talk about the depth of this defensive line. They just can rotate guy after guy.
Yeah, this is kind of nothing open down the field, and Russ is trying to go around. And you saw the Bulls. I mean, he might have got away with one right there.
See off to the right, the quarterback. There's the pressure right there. I mentioned Jalen Jones, usually in there to cover. This time he's turned loose. They had to move him to nickel with Stroman out.
He missed Quez Watkins. He kind of goes scramble drill. He's wide open, just clapping his hands, jumping up and down under the goalposts, and Jalen Hurts just doesn't see him. And this is exactly what we've been talking about all day. Some of these red zone wins, as bad as the drives look, as bad as the stat.
Well, and he has a look, looks a safety there, but you see the eyes come in late. And that's where the timing of a receiver and a quarterback, you practice over and over and over again. And
fake it to him going up top. Got a completion to Oliver, who's considered a blocking tight end, but he fumbles the ball and the script continues. They have been a disaster in the first quarter this year, coughing up and turning over the football, and it starts today on the very first play of the game, recovered by Brian Cook.
It's a good job, Oliver, who's done a great job this year, but right here, all you talk about all week is we can't turn the ball over, especially early. 7 fumbles on the season. It leads the NFL. They had 8 all of last year. Now it's 8 already.
Oh, my gosh. I mean, I don't know if he scores, but there was a lot of room, and that really was not or should not have been a difficult throw to execute. Just lay it out there and let him get it.
They have such a distance to make there on that third down. Even if he catches this ball, Gibson's frustrated. He's going to be tackled. They're still going to have to kick a field goal.